Inconsistent stuff. Welcome to this week's video. In this week's video, I'm completing part of a project where I'm making a worktop that I'll be doing my carpentry on. Today we're going to be building part of the legs. It's an interesting joint I've never made before, so it will be interesting for you to see how I navigate new challenges as this one will be. Let's get straight into the video. Let me show you that joint I'm talking about. The type of joint I'm making today is called a mortise and tenon joint. The principle of the mortise and tenon joint is you bore a hole in one of the pieces of wood you're trying to stick together, and then you make almost like a tongue on another piece of wood, and that will slip into the joint, and you can use glue or nails to hold it together. This table that I'm working on is a good example of a mortise and tenon joint. So I'll be making something similar for the worktop. Do a bit of math to figure out the exact dimensions of the mortise and tenon joints that I'll be cutting. So just give me a few minutes to finish the math, and then we can proceed with cutting the lumber. What we're looking at is a basic side view of the table. We have the legs that I've already cut out. I need to cut out this cross section where I'll be cutting out the tenons and drilling holes here for the mortises. And lastly, we have the top that I'm making out of 6x1 lumber. So these are the legs that I've already cut out where the mortises will be drilled. This will be the top of the workbench, and as I mentioned, it's made out of 6x1 lumber. And lastly, we have the section that I'll cut out 4 pieces where I'll be cutting out the tenons. And let's get straight to the cutting. Measure twice, cut once. So the length that I'm working with, this is 17 inches long, and I need to cut out tenons that are 2.5 inches long on both sides and an inch from the sides. So that's where I'm going on next. Did I mention this is my first time doing this? I've already marked out what I need to do. This is what I want to be left with at the end of the cut. I want to be left with this part here. So I'll be removing this part, this section here, and this section to this depth right over here. I have improvised a vice grip by using these clamps to hold these pieces of lumber on the desk so that I'm able to easily cut the top off. If you're interested in supporting my work and buying me a bench vise, ask for my M-Pesa number. The first cut is done, and let me finish up the rest. I've finished vertical cuts on one side, so what is left is removing this piece here and here, and then cutting across this to bring out the tenon. I'm going to make the last 2 cuts. That is across to realize it. That's almost there. Just a few more cuts to make. That's a completed tenon. I would have to say that was a pretty decent job for a first timer. I think I'll make a mortise for this tenon, and that should complete this video. For the mortise, I'm going to use the router to dig out a hole where this tongue, or rather tenon, will slip in. Funny enough, it's the first time using a router on a workpiece, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The first step is measuring where I want the mortise to sit. Using this 8-bit and the router, I'll be able to dig out the hole gradually until I get to the depth of the tenon. So let's see how that goes. The router is set. The next thing to do is to measure where the tenon will sit on the legs. I clamped the legs together and used a planer to just make sure everything is smooth before I start marking it out and boring it with the router. I have this measured up, and this is where I need to bore out the hole for the mortise. This is what I need to remove, and I need to go 2.5 inches deep. I'm pretty sure this bit won't be able to do that, but I'll figure it out.
Just a chance we take. You and I come a long way together. You and I got a long way to go. You don't have to ask me now and never, 'cause I'm already yours. You'll always be mine.
It's a really snug fit. I have maybe 1 inch to go, and I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. So to address my problem, because my router can't go that deep, I've decided to use a drill to just eat out as much of the material that I can, and then use a chisel to just remove anything else that is extra. Drill bit to help me get into the hole deeper. I was able to do that, and using the chisel I was able to finish off removing some of the material to the correct depth. And here is the mortise. We have 3 more to go, but we're not going to do that on this video because this video has to be edited and uploaded today. This is the moment of truth. Let's see if this is going to work. Came out better than I had imagined, to be honest, and I'm looking forward to working on the rest of the mortises. This video has to be shot and edited today. You're not going to see the finished product until next week. So thank you for watching, and see you next week. And with that, stand out. Warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up. Walan.